Hello, hello. Hello, dear student. Very good morning to all of you. So, hope you all are doing well and happy Ganesh Puja also. So, dear student, within few minutes, we'll start our discussion. So, before starting our discussion, please confirm whether my audio, video, voice, everything is okay, my screen is visible or not, so that we can. Hello, hello. Hello, dear student. Very good. Uh, start our discussion. Please confirm. Okay, dear student. So, dear student, once again, very good morning to all of you. So, hope you all are doing well and happy Ganesh Puja. So, hope you all are enjoying your life and celebrate uh, the Ganesh Puja with happiness, lot of happiness. चलिए start करते हैं. So, first thing is how you can get this PDF. To get this PDF, you can simply scan this QR code. So to get this PDF, you simply scan this QR code and you will download our application. Within our application, there will be a section called infographics and current affairs. Within that, you will get our infographics edition. So those who are using iOS and iPad device, you can download Class Plus application and use our code as PKR MEJ. And you can by using this infographics newspaper, you can reduce your 3 hour of newspaper reading in just 45 minutes. So that is going, this time you have saved, you can devote for your GS study plus your optional study. So that is what going to fetch you extra marks. No need to work hard, work very smartly. Okay, work hard but with smartly, so that you can get good marks in your prelims, mains, in your interview. Okay. So dear student, you can also scan this QR code to join our Telegram group also. In that group, you'll get a lot of study material there, like for example, the daily MCQ mains question that we are also providing. So you'll get all these things from there also. So before starting the discussion, let me explain what are the main objective of this discussion. So here we are going to help you to understand how each and every article it is important for our examination. Whether it is going to it is important for your prelims, mains, or interview. If it is important for your prelims, then what kind of question they can ask. So that is what my main objective is, to put all this article having utility for you, so that it is going to be helpful in our examination. ठीक है, चलिए start करते हैं. So first one is India's brace for impact of 50% tariff from today. So I think you all know, say under Donald Trump imposed 50% tariff on India. So that 50% penalty for buying. That is what the USA is saying that. And if you looking into going to face severe threat, our export might be impacted. And other country, let's see, we are let's say exporting textile textile footwear, fish, all these things. So other country like Vietnam going to impact our economy. So no comments from the central tariff other measure against the USA. The prime minister and exporter estimate good worth of 47 billion will be affected. So just imagine 47 billion worth of good is affected, which is around 10 travel. So while Indian government to reduce the economic dependence on export. So India's exporter are bracing themselves for sharp fall in the business with United States of America. So our difficult in the USA. So market loss, 55% of Indian export are render uncompetitive compared to the neighboring country. This is what one by Federation of Indian Export Organization. So a sector that is going to be impacted, this is apparel, textile, gems and jewelry, shrimp, carpet and furniture. So there can be a very good question either in your prelims or mains. So what kind of impact of recent rise in tariff by USA against India? So here one point you can write about no sector that is impacted: apparel, textile, gems and jewelry, shrimp, carpet and furniture. So extent of import from these sector could launch 70%. India stand by its with Chinese President Xi Jinping in August 30. After from the USA. So India is engaging with multiple partners. So one of them is China. So we are engaging with China so that if China and India, this is called RIC. So Indian government is pushing Swadeshi mantra to reduce economic reliance on export, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi call upon Indians to vote for vocal for locals. Okay? So and buy Indian goods. So Indian exporter, however, are bracing themselves for sharp fall in the business into USA, with early estimate predicting that 47 billion worth of good will be fresh, 50% of to attract since August 17 plus 25% of tariff because we are buying. So this additional tariff will not apply to the iron, steel, aluminum product applicable. So Ministry of External Affairs did not comment whether India is planning to have countermeasure or not. So no, we have nurture and improve our relationship for last 2 decades with the USA. But now, because of this transactionalism or the transactional approach of the Donald Trump, that is what hurting our relationship because it is imposing more tariffs. So that is what pushing India towards exploring alternative partner. For example, after US tariff, we are looking for having partner or trade relationship with either you can say about Russia, China, Japan. So we are looking and exploring that. Also, I think if you look into long term prospect, I think this tariff is going to be helpful for India because we are this is what going to push for free trade agreement and trade negotiation with other countries. It is also going to improve our logistics of our business. Some of the structural reform, for example, government announced GST reform to simplify that. If we are going to implement everything in future, it is going to be helpful a lot to make our economy globally competitive. Okay. So next important article is Supreme Court asked why judiciary can't be review inaction of the governor on bill. So if state government pass a bill, let's say state government is passing a bill, state government, state legislative assembly pass a bill, it is presented before the governor. Governor can be give his assent or withhold his assent or reserve and return the bill. So in case of withhold, so if no action is taken, so bill became end. So that means democratically elected government, democratically elected legislator, they even if they pass the bill, so ultimately governor is having the power to block that. So that is what against the democratic principles. Okay? So if court can review a governor recommendation for president rule, अगर court गवर्नर the president rule के ऊपर recommend कर सकता है on the ground of malified intention. Why court is not able to intervene in case of bill is pending, keep pending for years. So that is what they are saying. If court can review governor recommendation or president rule, why can't the judiciary examine the governor sitting on a crucial state bill for year together? This is what said by the Chief Justice B.R. Gavi, heading the presidential reference bench. Ask the center and BJP ruling state here. So presidential reference is found in Article 143 of Indian Constitution, where president can ask for some reference to the Supreme Court if they want some sort of clarification on the constitutional provision, and that presidential reference need to be heard by 5 judge benches. It should be minimum 5 judge benches to hear this case. And to recently this is case is going on between the presidential reference whether the governor and if you look into original constitution, there is no time limit for the governor and president to act for any bill that is being passed by the either state legislative assembly or the parliament. But the Supreme Court recent verdict in Tamil Nadu case, Tamil Nadu governor case, given the verdict that the governor and president need to act the bill within 3 months. So that is what led to the controversy, and president filed a reference under Article 143 to clarify that. So that is what led to this case, and the Supreme Court says that if Supreme Court can intervene in case of president rule that is being recommended by the governor to the president for imposition of the president rule, why can't Supreme Court also review the if a governor is sitting over a bill for a year without passage of it. So if the discretion exercised by the governor under Article 356, it is providing for state emergency of the constitution can be judicially reviewed. Why not the discretion under Article 200? Article 200 is the ascending power of the governor, cannot be reviewed. So that is what asked by the Chief Justice of India. So Article 360, 356 of the constitution cover the circumstances that led to the president rule in the state. The president decision is based on the report given by the governor about failure of the constitutional machinery. So what ground presidential rule can be imposed? Presidential rule can be imposed on the state on the ground of failure of the constitutional machinery. So Article 200 deals with governor power to deal with state bill passed before. Article 200 deals with the governor power to deal with the state bill placed before for the assent. So that means, whenever any bill that is being passed by the state legislature, it will be laid before the governor. If governor gives assent to this bill, bill became act. If withhold, then bill became rejected. Okay. चलिए, so next, so so Australia cite anti-Semitic attack to cut ties with Iran. So recently there is a religious, the Australia accused that Iran is following Jesus, anti, Semitic laws, Semitic attacks. So that is the reason. So they are reducing their relationship. No need to go in detail. Just ignore. So pilgrimage among the 13% killed in Jammu Kashmir flood. Vaishno Devi journey halted. So severe rainfall happening in the Jammu and Kashmir. So because of that, so many people are dying, and the Vaishno Devi Yatra is currently halted. So dear student, we have started our OPSC interview guidance program. So here we are conducting daily podcast with the discussion with the group. So we are also planning to have mock interview. So you can scan this QR code to join our group. There you can participate with other students. So Saha warned about demographic changes are along the border. Yes, so in our India's border area, so there is a rapid change in demography. People from the neighboring country, they are migrating there. So to change the demography, and gradually they can capture this land also. So Union Home Ministry of Missa on Thursday said that demographic changes in border area are part of the deliberate design, and asked Chief Secretary of the State to Chief Force Guard border to pay attention to this issue. So we need to be ensured that those who are guarding this border, they need to be very much careful to prevent any such those who are coming there and capturing that land. We need to vacate them. So giving the example of the Gujarat, he urged the collector of the border district to take actions to remove illegal religious encroachment within 30 kilometers of the border area. So it's a matter of concern. Yes. So recently inauguration of vibrant village program. So dear student, you have to study about vibrant village program. So it is being implemented under what is the objective of the vibrant village program. They are basically aims to improving the villages that is located near to the northern border, that is bordering with the China, to ensure that there is a availability of the quality infrastructure there, so that people will not migrate this region to the other part of India. Rather, they will stay there, and it will act as a tourism village and promote the tourism and all-round development of this village that is located near to the China border. So, two-day vibrant village program workshop in Delhi, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Independence Day speech has flagged the demographic changes as a matter of concern. So, the collector of the district, including the vibrant village program, should address the issue of demographic changes and seriousness, adding that such changes in border area directly impacted the country security and border, according to the statement by the Ministry of Home Affairs. So we have seen that in border area, if uncontrolled migration happens, so that also led to the illegal activity, drug trading, weapon trading. So that is what going to impact our security also. So should not be assumed that demographic changes were happening due to geographical condition. Rather, it is part of the deliberate design. So you should directed that it is not happening just because of it is geographical problem, but it is because of some country in our neighbor. So they are doing deliberate attempt to change the border composition, and later on that can be fuel disturbances, and later on they can capture it. So so you can see about the so vibrant village program was based on the three key point, that is preventing migration from the border village, ensure that every border village in resident receive 100% beneficiary provided under the central and state government scheme, development of village into a strong tool of strengthening border national and security. So this is what the objective of vibrant village program. So this is the objective. Please read it very carefully. So if there is a question, what are the steps taken by the government to improve our border security? So you can talk about vibrant village program. If there is a question, what are the steps taken by the government to improve tourism, you can talk about vibrant village program. So on that basis, if you're just listening this, the discussion, so that is also going to be helpful to all of you. Chali. So next is Quad talks on the agenda when Prime Minister meet the Japanese Prime Minister. So the Quad grouping is an imperative platform on agenda talk between the Prime Minister of India and Prime Minister of Japan. So Quad is a quadrilateral security grouping among the three country, among the four country. It is USA, India, Australia, and Japan. Okay. So recently, the 15th Indo-Japan Annual Summit to be held in Tokyo. So this is what said by our Foreign Secretary. So remark that India that at the grouping still relevant despite tension in the Indo-USA ties, because this grouping is basically aims to promote cooperation, but strain among this relationship because US is imposing high tariffs. So Donald Trump decisions to strap 50% tariff on Indian goods. He did not explicitly confirm whether India will hold Quad summit this year or not. India this year is our relationship is plunged down with the USA, so it is not sure whether we are going to hold this Quad summit or not. So finalizing joint declaration at the 11th Nation SEO summit. So our Prime Minister also going to visit. Or so this is also very important. So the SEO is having 11 nations. So dear student, you have to study about their name. Study about the name of the SEO summit, and which will be include Russian President Vladimir Putin, President of Pakistan also, Bakwaz Sharif, and Iranian President, and India hope a strong statement on cross-border terrorism, because the if you look into what are the main objective of SEO summit, basically to counter radicalism, counter terrorism, counter all these things. So if that is the objective, then definitely we can expect their joint statement on counter. Defense Ministry failed to reach consensus over the reference to the Pahalgam terror attack and Operation Sindoor. So that is what India is pushing hard, so that we can get a joint statement. If there is a joint statement, it is harassment for Pakistan, so that will put pressure on the Pakistan to control its cross-border terrorism. So mulling implementation of Tamil Nadu's breakfast scheme in Punjab. So Tamil Nadu implemented one such scheme is providing breakfast at the school children. So that is what Punjab is also planning to implement at their school level. So if we are going to implement that, it is also going to help improving nutritional level of the children. It is also going to helpful because the mother, they have to spend 2 to 3 hours to make the breakfast. Now if school can provide breakfast, so mother will not have to spend too much of time. They can participate in the economical activity. That is what led to the empowerment of women also. So on expansion of drive through noon meals program was a good idea. Working women has to wake up at the 2 hours earlier to prepare breakfast for school going children. Nutritional student, he held the Tamil Nadu leadership and called him a people's leader. So Stalin announced that scheme in the assembly September, that he launched Madurai on a pilot basis. So that means in Tamil Nadu they are providing breakfast to their children, and same thing we can also implement all over the India also. If malnutrition at the village and rural area, if we can provide, that going to be improve their nutritional level. Then the end page. So first one is USA Open is designed to cut light pollution. So recently areas, street light and stadium. So that is what create pollution, because the earth is not belongs to only human being. Rather, the earth is everyone's planet, and everyone have the equal right to stay this planet. But being human, they are putting so much of light, street light, stadium light, the vehicle light. So that is what disrupting the movement, disrupting the you can say everything about the animals. So animals are disoriented because of this light. It is also impacting their sleeping pattern. I think you can already seen in a room, if there is too much of light, you cannot sleep properly. So that is what happening with animal also. So that is the reason the too much of light or excess light is now considered as a light pollution. Okay. So USA, so they have designed their USA Open or the sporting grounds in such a way that it is going to cut the light pollution. So because light pollution, it is impacting the bird, it is impacting some of the nocturnal species, it is impacting some of the animals also, because they cannot sleep because of this light that is falling on their eyes. Okay. So that is what the article is all about. So research show that forgetting may be natural, remembering takes work. So, if you look into our memory power, I think gradually, I think, let's say you are reading about polity. So after some time, you are gradually going to, remove, not able to recall that, eliminate from your brain. But to remember that, you need constant exercise. So I think this article is not much important. Just read this. This is more than important for your exam, because too much of technicality is not for our examination. This research are for, for medical and those who are doing on that field. So it is not important for our examination, unless otherwise there is a application. So dear student, for OPSC interview guidance program, you can scan this QR code to join. And here we are conducting daily podcast and weekly interview session also. So China Russia ties are must stable in turbulent world. So recently we have seen, so USA action against both China and Russia led to the both coming together and cementing their relationship. So this is a cause of concern for India also. The President Xi Jinping said that on Thursday, China ties with Russia are most stable, mature, and strategically significant among major world powers. State media reported. So the Russia Duma is also called as Russian Parliament, just like we call Parliament. So they call Duma. So lower house of the Parliament held the country's relationship between the stable source of world peace. So two side cemented, because during, if you can see about, during the Russia Ukraine war, China constantly supported Russia, and they have supported in terms of, supplying raw material. China has never denounced the war, nor called the Moscow withdraw its troops. Many of the Ukraine allies believe that Beijing is providing support its vast northern neighbor. So Russian President Vladimir Putin set to visit China this weekend. So that is what led to the, improving relationship between the Russia and China. So that is what threat for India also, because we are depending on the Russia for number of issue. If there is a good relationship, we cannot rely on, uh, we cannot rely on the Russia that they are going to support in case of conflict between India and China. So next is Janta. Janta is actually the military ruler of Myanmar. Strike on the Myanmar's hunger-racked region killed 12. So Myanmar Janta strikes in a rebel-held town. Country hunger-ravaged killed 12 person. Witness overnight bombing on Thursday. So Rakhine State. So Rakhine State is located on the eastern side of Myanmar. So they are, Rohingya migrant are basically staying. So after military at its battle ethnic flight in many sites, civil war has, consumed the country, with Janta toppling the democratic government. So after their military, they coup the democratically elected government, capture the power, and attack all these community, those who are opposing military ruler. So later, the militant that grow from this the Rakhine State, they are called Arakan Army. Arakan Army retaliation. So that is what led to the fleeing of all these Rohingya migrants to the Bangladesh. So that is what created humanitarian crisis. So what else crisis that Myanmar is facing? So agriculture with her and hyperinflation was spreading, with suffering exacerbated USA-led ad cuts. Whenever power, they are not bothering about whatever the people suffering. So because of that, people are facing hunger, people are facing hyperinflation, and somehow the USA art that is being provided helpful to overcome all this problem. But Donald Trump, after coming into power, they stopped providing this art. That is also led to the increasing the problem of hunger. So I have no food to eat, no place to stay, no post to cook, no pot to kick, no money to buy, because everything has been destroyed by this bombing. So Janta control only of Rakhine, where battling is cloud. So no, battling is going on. So here you have to map the Rakhine State. So where the Rakhine State is located. You can see here, this is Rakhine State. So here mostly the those who are residing, they are called Rohingyas. Okay? So they are opposing the military government. So that is what led to the government pushing them out. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next देखते हैं article. So next is protester in Israel demand release of hostage as strike kills 16 in the Gazas. who joined call for the National Day struggle. So I'm just putting the brief about what's going on. So there is a attack that is being happened by the Hamas. They capture some of the Israel people, and later on, that led to the Israel started bombing the Gaza Strip, and in these 22 months of bombing, Israel killed more than 36,000 people, and still it is not yet able to release all these hostages. Still, some of hostages are under the control of the Hamas. So there is a demand or protest that is going on in Israel. So they are demanding the release of all these hostages within time stipulated times. So, but now Israel is, instead of coming for a truce, Israel is saying that its goal is to completely eliminate this Hamas. So if Hamas will be not there in future, there will have no attack, and they are also planning to control the Gaza Strip militarily, and they are not letting any art to enter into the Gaza Strip. They are using military blockade as a means to kill these people through the hunger. So that is what the problem, and there is a condemnation at the international level. All countries are condemning that Israel is committing war crime by not letting the aid worker to reach there. Okay. So next is center cut wheat stock limit to manage the food security. So with festival season around the corner, so government limit the wheat stock limits. That means trader and trader on those who are wholesalers, so they cannot stock beyond a limit. If they are stocking, then there can be penalty also. So Union Food Ministry reduced the wheat stock limit for the trader, stockist, and processor. Said that the measure was manage overall food security and prevent hoarding and unscrupulous speculation. So that price will be controlled at the international market. So dear student, you can join, scan this QR code to join our Telegram, where you'll get guidance. You can talk to me directly. Okay. So next is US tariff may hit a ready-made garment export. This is what said by the CRISIL. CRISIL is a rating agency. CRISIL is a rating agency that provide rating to all our corporates. So revenue growth from Indian ready-made garment sector is likely to halve on year this year, with imposition of 50% tariff by the USA. So most of our export of garment, US is the largest market of our export of our garment. So with higher tariff, India is going to impact. Okay. So you can see the Tirupur, Noida, Surat stop stop the output on high tariff. Because of the high tariff, they know that their export is not going to be get advantage, so they have stopped producing that. So Apex exporter body FIEO on Thursday expressed serious concern over the high US tariff on Indian good and textile. The apparel makers in the Tirupur, Noida, Surat have halted production amid worsening cost competitiveness due to steep duties. So USA duties on Indian goods will be increased to 50% on 27 August. He described the development as a setback and stated that it was adversely severely impact Indian export to the USA. With about 50% of India's the US bound, it is about India export around 47 to 48 billions, now exposed to the tariff range of 30 to 35%. So our product will be more costlier at the USA market as compared to the other competitor like Bangladesh, Vietnam. Okay, that is what going to be impact. So pharma body hope for relief from the GST reform. So if you look into current structure that is being our pharmaceutical paying, so it is costlier to import the raw material rather than the finished product. So that is what called inverted duty structure. So they are hoping that the GST reform that is being announced by the Prime Minister will correct that and will make that the input cost, the tax on the input is quite low, within 5%. Like API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, the key material to all these pharmaceutical products should be kept at 5%, while the finished product tax should be kept at 18%, so that we can correct the inverted duty structure. So that is what they are planning. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. So ahead of the tariff rollout, the Prime Minister Modi raised the pitch for Swadeshi. 50% is going to kick in from today. So our Prime Minister is talking about we need to promote more indigenous market. We need to be more vocal for the local market. Okay? So that is what they are demanding. So first batch of e-Vitara set to sell for the Europe this month. So Maruti Suzuki battery electric vehicle will be largest mass produced and exported BEV from India to be sold in India market. Company to invest 70,000 crore in India. So this is what more important, no need to go in detail. So dear student, whatever I'm discussing apart from that Indian Express and other newspaper, we are providing in a current affair format. So it is in mains regular and student detail, like whatever the news of the day, be that from the Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, all this newspaper, we are compiling and providing to you in a single, you can say about the current affair, daily current affair. You can get that in our applications. So please download application by scanning this QR code and get it there. So Adi Karma Yogi initiative to put tribal change leader through their pace at the village level. So if anyone ask about what are the steps taken by the government to promote change among the tribal people, so you can talk about Adi Karma Yogi. So lightning candles, that means lightning candle is a symbol of fighting against the ignorance and providing knowledge. Role playing, cognitive group task, knot tying, and fish bowl exercise at the core of effort to create cadre of 20 lakh changes leader of tribal village under the Adi Karma dedicated workforce for the tribal development. So they are going to promote, propagate change in the behavior among the tribals, so that our tribals can be bring into the mainstream of development. Okay, so you can see village vision. So the government through training activity mentioned above intended to create 240 state level master trainer and 2750 village level trainer and 15,000 block level trainer who will be responsible for taking the training down to the 20 lakh villager officials, volunteer and leaders. So that is what they are basically aims to create more awareness, create more participation among the tribal people. So next important news is center finalize national designated authority, NDA, national designated authority. This is very important, so they can ask UPSC exam also. So what is the role of national designation authority, NDA? So the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and announced the national designation authority, a mandatory requirement under Paris Agreement of UNFCCC, United Nations Framework carbon emissions trading regime, to ensure that those who are excess emitting, they can trade their carbon with those who are save the carbon. So we need national designated authority. So within the Paris Agreement, a section called Article 6 define the contour of under which such emission trading regime or a market can be tax safe, a long-standing bone of contention among the countries. So Article 6 was finalized in 29th edition of the climate summit. That is what happened in the Baku, Azerbaijan. So you have to remember that 29th environmental summit happened in the Baku, Azerbaijan. So the creation of the national designation authority is mandatory requirement under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. You have to remember NDA, national designation authority, under Article 6 a mandatory requirement. A notification from the environmental ministry on Friday lay out the composition of the National Designation Authority, which 21-member committee headed by the Secretary of Environmental Ministry. Okay, so representative include from the External Affairs Ministry, Steel, Renewable Energy. So this NDA responsible for inclusive recommendation of Union government and list of activity that can be considered for a reduction through the emission reduction target. So Article 6 modifying from time to time to in line with national sustainable goal and country specific criteria of other nations. So if you look into what are the India's latest NDC, so it is very important for anything about India's commitment and how India is going to achieve this climate neutral. So you can talk about India's NDC commitment to 25% intensity of our GDP. We are going to reduce 2030 from 2005 level by 45% and achieving 50% of electric power capacity from non-fossil fuel source by 2030, creating tons of carbon credit by 2030. So these are few objectives that we are going to achieve through the NDC. That is what our target is. So whatever I'm putting in box, so the very important, you need to remember that by heart. So you have to remember and write in your examination. Chaliye, the next article. So this article data is very important for your the society answer writing, your mains answer writing, even interview while you are making any. So school account 56 around 66% of student in public institution in rural area. If you look into that, more people in government institution and 31% in the urban area, because urban area people are a little bit of rich, so they have money, so they mostly enroll in the private institution. So private unaided school account, nearly one third of all children get private coaching. That means one third of all children, they are getting private coaching. Why they are getting private coaching? Because they are not getting good quality of education in the government school. So study undertaken by National Sample Survey. So this study is undertaken by the National Sample Survey. I think same thing is mentioned here. Just read the highlighted portion. This is more than enough. So the household spend on an average 2,863 for student, household average of for student in government school, while expenditure on non-government school is 25,000. So the expenditure on private school is almost like 10 times that of the expenditure on the government school. So 95% of the student rely on the household member as their primary source of education funding, and course fee have emerged as the largest children. So total that course fee amount largest chunk of the education, then we can prevent children drop out from the education. So this survey is more important, no need to go beyond that. Dear student, for OPSC we are providing infographics edition currently, monthly fair, weekly. So next important article is appellate tribunal. Member claim he was approached by a judge for favor, so he recused himself. So when, what is the recuse? Whenever judges they involve, for example, let's say this is a person and this is a judge. So if these two person are relate, there is a relation or friend. If two person are having relationship, if judge is listening a case or hearing a case where this party is involved, in that case there is a high chances of conflicting of interest. In that cases judges can recuse, that means decline to be part of this benches. Again, multiple instances where judges of Supreme Court, they are recusing, they are refusing benches whenever they are near, dear or friend are involved in. Judicial member of National Company Law Appellate Tribunal has alleged being approached by one of the most revered of a party. So this is what serious in the judiciary. We are blindly following judiciary, but what judiciary they are doing? We are worshipping our judge at the god, but what that? So the member has recused himself from hearing the matter. So Chennai bench of the appellate tribunal recorded incident of a two paragraph. So in August 30. So we need to seriously investigate this matter, and the whosoever may be, whatever may be the power, need to be punished very strictly, so that we should not dare, anyone should not dare to commit such kind of things. Na? So next important article is, dear student, you can also join our OPSC West Prelims test series. The price is very nominal, yet you will get high quality test series at very nominal fees. So bill to remove minister facing charge will test government strength. To make any sort of constitutional amendment, this bill, that is 100, aim to remove the prime minister, chief minister or council of minister if they have been jailed for more than 31 days in crime that is provide penalty more than 368 provide for constitutional amendment. Here we need the voting, that is more than 2 of this of the house, then only we can consider bill is passed. But currently the government is lacking that number in both house, so that is the reason. So they need support of opposition, and opposition are not in favor of this bill. So dear student, next is about you can join our Dronacharya year-long mentorship program. Here you will get quality mentorship by our mentor who have experience in this guiding student for last couple of years. So they already have the interview experience, so you can get a guided hand for your preparation. Chaliye. So next is AR Chief Singh won the recently. We have seen different the chief of the army, then air force or navy, so they are showing their concern about theaterization. So no doubt while making our theaterization we need to follow a gradual process. We need to take consideration and confident of all the service chief, so that their service concern, their all these things need to be overcome. But at the same time we should go ahead with this theaterization, because we are facing multiple threat of war. So during Operation Sindoor we have seen how the theaterization and joint command helpful to bring Pakistan to its knee within very few hours. So quad talk on the agenda when Prime Minister met is the Japanese Prime Minister. This will be an opportunity to launch several new initiatives in order to build greater resilience in relationship and respond to the emerging opportunity and challenges. Recently, we have seen there is a pushback from the USA. And US is also threatening to impose higher tariff on India. So that is the reason India is looking after, alternatively we can diversify our relationship. We can promote our relationship with other part of the world. So Japan is natural partner of India's development. So we are looking to strengthen our relationship. So if you look into that, Japan Shinkane plant. So they are sending, they are providing the bullet train to India. They are expected to sign an agreement to introduce Japanese E10 coaches to transport to the India by 2030 for Mumbai Ahmedabad high speed rail or bullet train project. So Japan is providing, funding this Mumbai Ahmedabad bullet train project, and they are also gifted one bogie to the one train to the bullet train to the India, and India is also planning to manufacture all these bullet train from, by establishing manufacturing plant or importing some of them to India. Okay, chaliye that's the next article. So the Defense Ministry Rajnath a ground reality. So Defense Minister Rajnath Singh commissioned two of India's Navy's advanced project 70A. So 17A talking frigates. That is what called, the yes. Shiva A they basically aim to provide Shivali class and frigates. One is INS Udaygiri and IMS Himgiri. So Eastern Naval Command, Eastern India's coastal area. So this is for us and successes achieved river Bharat. But देखो, I'm going to give you a very good example. देखो, whenever you are facing any sort of threat, so you are believing that you are facing threat, but threat can be an opportunity also. So time and again, Navy receive less amount of money from the Union government for indigenous products. So that is the reason if you look into among the forces, around 70 to 75%, but no other forces having the indigenous content. So I think always challenges are always opportunity for us, but the way we are looking, that is what very important. Okay, so because of that, the ships are equipped with next generation weapon system and would enhance the navy capability to safeguard nation's interest across the full spectrum of maritime missions. So I think they can ask about this question directly also. So what are the unique feature, what are the project name, what are the ship name? So they can ask about, please read it very carefully. So and security partner in Indian Ocean region. So self-reliance no longer a slogan, but we are making it ground reality. India does not believe in aggressive expansion. Yes, we don't do aggressive expansion, but we should not tolerate if anyone doing so aggression towards us. So if you look into indigenous content, it is 75% of indigenous component would strengthen the security system, safeguard maritime interests. So the first time in the history, at simultaneously we are launching two frigates. That is what shows our strength, our capabilities. We can launch multiple ships together. So that is what very essential for our development. So underlying India's rapid naval modernization and its ability to deliver advanced warship, multiple shipyard together. So India's industrial ecosystem spanning across 200 MSME, supporting approximately 4,000 direct, more than 10,000 indirect jobs to two frigate design in-house Bureau of Naval Ships. Okay, so these two ships. I'm coming back. Just a minute. चलिए. So the ship. So the Udaygiri and Himgiri follow on the ship of the Shivali class. So it is under Project 70A, follow of the Shivali class. So both incorporate significant improvement in design, stealth weapon, and sensor system. This shipper feature modern combined diesel and gas propulsion plant, state of art integrated platform management system, and suit of advanced weapon and sensor developed by Indian manufacturer. So these are few things fact you need to remember. They can ask, pick 4 5 statement, and they ask in the past also they have asked multiple questions from all these frigates, all these naval ships. So they can ask. So whenever anything related to defense happens, so you need to remember that. So next important article is, can't judiciary review the governor in action? So that means, the judiciary or the chief justice or the constitutional bench that is being established after the presidential reference regarding, the power of Supreme Court to specify the 3 month deadline. So on that, to counter, on that argument, Supreme Court asked that, don't you think that Supreme Court can, have the judicial review over governor in action? So Supreme Court in its judgment SR Bomai, so you need to remember this case, it's very important judgment regarding, federalism, held that the proclamation of president rule should be reviewed by the court to ensure it is motivated, and it should not be motivated by malified intention. So in past also we have seen repeated use of president rule to topple the state government. So that led to the SR Bomai judgment. Here Supreme Court given a landmark judgment where it said that even the imposition of the president rule is subjected to the judicial review on the ground of malified intention. So the presidential reference was triggered by April 8th judgment by two judge constitutional benches of Supreme Court, said that Tamil Nadu governor who are sitting on a bill since 2020, so judgment has prescribed 3 month deadline for president and governor to decide on the state bills. Whenever elected government they are passing, elected legislator they are passing, and government is have the approval of the bill. If governor is sitting on this bill just because they have the opposition, different ideology from whatever the bill passed, so that is cannot be a ground for, blocking the passage of the bill. Supporting the presidential reference, the center, the state like Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Goa, they are arguing that judiciary cannot limit the president and governor to the deadline. So this argument is going on. So let's see how it is evolved. It's very interesting to see. The function of governor under Article 200 are indisputably legislative in character. So to this, Chief Justice quoted the B.R. Ambedkar, who vowed that center and state should function within their own respective domain unless there were internal emergency. That means, center should not interfere in the administrative and legislative affair of the state unless there is internal emergency. Just because there is a opposition party ruling at the state government, so union government should not create a paralysis at the state level. So that is what the politician, those who are claiming to be, statesmen, need to be out of political hangover and need to behave in a responsible manner. So that is what we need. So the Ukrainian President Zelensky seek India's contributions to end this war. Okay, so that is what very important. So next is 9 pilgrims among the 13 killed, rain, landslide, batter the Jammu and Kashmir. So 4 killed in Doda, drown, and house collapse incident. So when the Vaishno Devi Yatra is halt, and so many people are died there. चलिए next article देखते हैं. So why has import duty on cotton has been suspended? So if you look into that, producer of the cotton or not, like, what is the status, which country is the largest producer of the cotton of the world? So let me see how many of you know that which country is the largest producer of the cotton in the world. So the cotton, which is the main raw material for farm in India. So this data are very important. So 6 million farmer in India in introduced in February 2021. So in India our production is, means more demand, so price may be increased. To counter that, if price is increased, our cotton production is, the production of our textile is going to be increased, cost of our textile product is going to increase. So to reduce the cotton price, government remove the import duty, so that our the cotton at the cheap rate, so that ultimately the end price of our textile will be very low. So government said that it is withdrawing the duty till September 30, when current was announced by the finance ministry in budget. So in that year we are producing 350 lakhs bales of cotton annually against our requirement of 335 bales. So we have excess production, so that we have started imposing the import duty, so that we can ensure our farmer, those who are producing, they can get good price if we provide import of all this cotton. So that is what led to the flooding of our country with imported cotton. So our farmer might have hot. But this year what happening, our production is quite low as compared to our demand. So that is the reason government is removing the import duty, so that we can have access to all the cotton at the world level at very low price. So this year also our production is 294, but our demand is 318. So to ensure that there should not be any mismatch, so we have removed this import duty. That is what the article is all about. And you need to read and study about, which country is the largest producer of the cotton, and what are the, in cotton sector we have currently, we have started cultivating bt cotton. So what are the positive negative of bt cotton? So how bt cotton helps in India to emerge as a leading producer of the cotton? So tell me in the comment box. Let me see how many of you know that. So next one is, what is the drop test conducted by the ISRO? So recently ISRO, they have conducted a drop test. They carry the crew modules to a height of 3 kilometers, and from 3 kilometers they have dropped, and three parachute opened off, and that led to the controlled descending of that pod. So in August 24, Indian Space Research Organization successfully carried out its first indigenous integrated airdrop test, a crucial milestone in preparation for country maiden human split mission, that is Gaganyaan. So in case of happening or the returning mission, so our ultimately the module need to be dropped, that should be a parachute that it should be automatically opened up, so that there is a controlled descent of that capsule over the water. So a dummy crew capsule weighing near 5 tons were dropped from a helicopter to test whether its parachute system will be open or working safely or not. So what is IADT? So the IADT is designed to evaluate the parachute based deceleration system that will bring Gaganyaan crew modules down safely after its re-entry. So IADT, the parachute were expected to deploy in a precise sequence after module was releasing from a height of 3 kilometers. So after we have released it, so it will open up all this parachute, and parachute will help gradually slow way it will descend and fall on the ground. Okay. So that is what we have taken, because the safety of this mission is very important before we are launch everything na? So Gaganyaan ultimate objective is to send Indian astronauts to the lower earth orbit on a human rated uh, launch vehicle M3. So but before happening, ISRO must conduct series of tests to validate the safety of the system. Whenever you are sending humans to a space missions, you have to ensure there is a safety, that's your proper protocols, because if anything happen, we have to abort that, we have to save our people. Unlike right required human rating everywhere, this involve engineering redundancy, fault detection, life support, crew escape system test to demonstrate whether astronauts can be pulled away from the rocket in case of launching failure. The first such test vehicle was TBT1, takes place in October 23rd. TBT2 scheduled next will be attempt more complex abort scenario. Okay. So to before launching of our Gaganyaan, we are also going to have two or three unmanned mission where there will be a robot that his name is Byomyan. So that is will be traveled, and we need to also design the life support system also. Okay, so some of the critical system under the development including environmental control, life support system for oxygen, temperature, waste management, fire safety. So these are very critical for human space mission, because in space there will be no oxygen. Our astronaut will be live in vacuum, so we need all these things. Okay, so India will also had to indigenize many technology that were available from abroad, from escape motor to specialized composite, each subsystem to pass hundreds of tests before being certified. So what are the long term goal of India? So our long term goal is to establish a space station, so that is what called Bharatik Antriksh station by 2035. Remember this date, so which is going to be very helpful to write good answer. And also we are planning to landing on the moons by 2040. So these goal will demand a repeated flight, extended orbital missions, and deep space technology. In this regard, while schedule may slip, so we are working on these missions to ensure that should be a successful. So also already we have launched the space decks. That is what called space docking experiment. We have launched two satellite. Now this is one satellite. There is a docking here, and them in space, so that person can travel from one satellite to another satellite. So that is what happened in case of a space station. In space station you cannot launch a big module together, so we'll launch single one by one module, we'll attach that module to the mother module. So in this way we can increase our space station size. So for that we need to have proper docking experiment. To ensure that, we have already conducted SpaceX experiment. Okay. So dear student, next year in 20 time is left. So you can start writing answer by joining our answer writing program and essay practice program. So next, this article is talking about, though Israel in last 22 months have committed 63,000 people having died in this war, and mostly Israel is killing these people, those who are hungry, those who are in the standing in the QR. It is not allowing the this rescue operation is going on, not allowing the food to enter into the Gaza Strip. Though the European country they are condemning, but they are not taking any action. While they are very vocal about India's action, India buying oil, or they are vocal about Ukrainian and Russian war, but they are not concerned about the war in the Palestine. So that is what this article is talking about. So this article is talking about play-based learning for India's future. So if you look into children before the age of 6, most of their cognitive skill is developed. So that is the reason we need to focus on early childhood care and education, and we need to impart more of play-based learning. Then only our children is a capacity, they'll develop their brain properly, and later on they can catch the education system and then proper very fast. They'll perform very fast. So problem is that most of the things we are not doing it. Okay. So that is what this article is talking about. It's talking about we need to promote holistical way the early childhood care education. So they have started, government have started an initiative Aadhar Shila, focus on the holistic development of children, emphasizing not only the intellectual but also emotional, physical. So they are children can come together, they play there. So that is what helpful for learning lot of things. So please study this article, you will understand. So next important is gender angle to the Indian economic vulnerability. So if you look into recent trade, or trade, the tariff that is being imposed by the USA, that is 50%. So that is what going to impact our women. So here you will see it is the impact is more on the women. Okay. So other than other person. So next is the election commission. Recently there is a crisis of credibility our election commission is facing, because of allegedly might be favorable, or the election commission, instead of functioning its significant way, it is favoring the ruling party, or so this is being accused by the opposition. So that is the reason election commission is facing the problem. If you look into role of election commission under article control of the election. So election commission is responsible for free and fair elections. So that is the reason it should not be gone against anyone criticizing. Rather, it should be perform its duty, in a responsible way. And this all these allegations should be high time. It should be used to clean the election commission. I think you know about the TN session. The TN session is known as the responsible person, known as the bringing this credibility to this election commission of India. I think same thing you can restore. Also the appointment of the chief election commission should be, there should be a 3-member committee, and in that committee prime minister, leader of opposition, and chief justice of India need to be there, so that the person who are appointed as election commission of India need to be a neutral person, need to be rise above the politics of the day. So this article is talking about that only. And please read this article. It's talking about gender angle of Indian economy vulnerability. Dear student, you can join our monthly current affair also test series, free of test series, that is already available in our application by scanning this QR code. 27th August, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and please do share this video with your friends, so that more number of students can benefit from it. And please give your feedback, because your feedback is critical to us, and whatever may be your feedback, it is definitely helpful for improving the content. Chaliye dear student, bye bye. We'll have to end here. Take care. Bye.